It's Madden NFL 23, where we'll see a brawl inside the AFC South. It's the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans, and it's all up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's a good matchup in the AFC South between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Welcome in, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. As the Texans offense runs out, we get a peek at the man under center. Second-year quarterback Davis Mills out of Stanford.
I think when we really analyze the 2021 NFL season, Houston Texans quarterback Davis Mills, he deserves a lot more credit than he got for leading a bad team last season. Circumstances led the third-round rookie to being thrown in as the team starter, and he really came on after some early struggles. 4 300-yard games from him, he led Houston to a big upset of the Chargers to help keep L.A. out of the playoffs.
On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Mills to Cooks there, and that connection good for a Houston first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A first down throw for Mills. And that's going to be incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2.
Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
3rd down, the Colts beefing up the secondary. 6 defensive backs in the game. Here's Mills. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
So 1 first down on that drive, and that's it. Forced to take the deep shot on 3rd down and couldn't hit it. Now they have to punt this one away.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Back deep for the Colts, Nyheim Hines. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes the Colts offense for their first series. And at quarterback, a new name this year to the franchise, of course, but certainly not new to the league. A 15-year vet, former league MVP, Matt Ryan.
In a storied career that has spanned 14 seasons and nearly 60,000 yards through the air, we're seeing a brand new chapter for Matt Ryan this year. With Atlanta in a rebuild, Ryan was dealt to Indianapolis, where he's their 6th Week 1 quarterback in 6 seasons. One of the most decorated quarterbacks still active, this move will keep Ryan on a contender as he chases his first career Super Bowl title.
Ryan and the Colts getting set here, 1st and 10.
At their own 20-yard line. From the shotgun, Ryan. And right away, he lost the football. But I believe the Colts were able to fall on this when they were. And so possession will remain with Indy. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down.
Now Ryan.
And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Ryan. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. A gain of 4, not enough, and it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down.
They're able to get the completion, but unfortunately not able to get the 3rd down conversion there on that play.
And I like how the defense approached that one. They knew where the 1st down marker was, and they decide whatever you want to have, you can. You're just not going to get the 1st down. Excellent tackling right there.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk is on to punt. Desmond King back deep.
Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And the Texans will take over.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Mills to throw it. Open man is Jordan, the tight end. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Mills now looks to throw on 1st down.
And Cooks has it over the middle.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Pierce now up the middle.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. To throw, Mills. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp.
It's surprising that Indianapolis is Yannick Ngakoue's 5th team in the last 4 seasons. He's never had fewer than 8 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in a year, producing everywhere he's been.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Looking to throw is Mills. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. Touchdown, Texans. Nico Collins, 38 yards. And the Texans will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was Nico Collins who finished it off with a touchdown reception. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. First carry now for the former Badger, Jonathan Taylor. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
He had to fight for every yard on that run. Shook himself free of the tackle and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
And if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. 1st and 10, it's Pierce. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else he'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Opening carry of the game here for Rex Burkhead. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Mills now. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. DeForest Buckner with a sack, the former number 7 overall pick.
Trading for DeForest Buckner 2 years ago, still a shrewd move for the Indianapolis Colts. He's anchored their defense with 6.5 sacks in that time, as well as garnering All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors.
Mills to the sideline, and out now is Kaimi Fairbairn for the Houston field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. And that is no good. And this will remain a 1-touchdown game.
They had a chance there to really build a nice early lead, go up a couple of scores. But he doesn't hit that one quite right, and it winds up an empty possession.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And he's got room. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 41 yards rushing for him now in his first 2 carries of the ball game. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? He was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And if we turn to the next-gen stats, the final clocking, well, it's ridiculous. 22.5 miles an hour. Back to Taylor on first down. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. And even 20 yards for Jonathan Taylor. And the Colts are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up. Meaning, when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. And each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Rodrigo Blankenship now for the PAT. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7.
Well, it wasn't a one-play drive, but I think they'll take it. The scoring summary, 2 plays and into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
First down, Mills. Got a man. It's Collins complete.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Nico Collins with the Houston first down, something he did 22 times as a rookie for the Texans. Back here as a starter, hopes that last year's 446 yards are just the floor of what he can do.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Pierce takes it straight ahead.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. DeForest Buckner using that size to force his way in there and make the stop behind the line.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Mills.
That's caught. It's Chris Moore.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
Pierce will try to pick it up.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they play someone trying to put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Now Ryan on 1st down. Off the edge, Jerry Hughes gets the sack.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Up the middle, here's Taylor. A good move, but not much room to run. Brought down at the 5. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Again, it's Taylor. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down.
That was another good run. He's having an excellent day. And right now, I don't think his team could have any more confidence in handing him the football.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. .36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. They'll start on the ground with Pierce. And he'll be dropped at the 36. It's a good gain of 18 on a play that originated back at the 18. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. These two teams all tied after one. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. 1st down, they go right back to Pierce. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Now Mills on the bootleg. He's got his man. It's Pierce. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
To me, this is a case of if you're not getting the ball, you've got to do your job and block for the guy who is, because there really wasn't much there. And, boy, the defense took advantage with that loss.
And the defense, they were just locked in there on 3rd. They had more guys than they could block. Here we go on 4th down. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. 1st down on a pickup of 11. They were certainly in field goal range, opted to go for it. Hey, they were able to pick it up.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, but look at it this way. The kicker had missed one before, so they decided to stay out and go for it, and it worked. But now Just one missed field goal and you're not trusting him? He'll be visiting a team psychiatrist this week because he's going to want some answers about why they wouldn't put him back out on the field.
So this offense able to convert on fourth, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Now Mills.
Dancing to his, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long.
He'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he wisely will throw that one away. The Colts D sticking to their assignments, and that brings up 4th.
There's not much pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of a guy trying to throw the football. And on that play, they ended up flushing him to his left, contacted him as he's trying to throw the football, and that led to the incompletion.
Mills to the sideline, and out now is Kaimi Fairbairn for the Houston field goal try.
From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Fairbairn now, following the made field goal, he'll send this one away.
Bringing it out of his end zone, Isaiah Rodgers. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Colts set to take over here offensively. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Ryan and the Colts getting set here, 1st and 10.
At their own 17-yard line. Ryan. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking that time to get it to Paris Campbell. That'll bring up 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Running straight ahead, Taylor.
Now, despite a little sizzle on the move, he's still tackled shy of the 20. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
We'll force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
On 3rd down, Ryan. Forced out to his left, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Malik Collins coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Here's Matt Hawk now to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. Now Ryan. This one completes Alec Pierce. Second down at 4. They'll run the toss here with Taylor. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
The offense on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Ryan. He finds Pierce. It's complete. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
First and 10, Taylor now. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Play action. Ryan. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
You doing okay over there, partner? Because that's yet another sack in this game that you just had to call. We're not even at halftime yet. No wonder this team has the lead. What an effort by the defense right from the word go. The adjustments at halftime, they're going to have to be big, or this could really get ugly in the second half.
Well, that sack backs Ryan the Colts up a bit here, facing a 3rd and long. They're going to look to throw. He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. Touchdown, Colts! Michael Pittman, 59 yards, as they have taken the lead. Well, this has been a signature of his over a sensational career since entering the league back in 2008. And you can see still plenty of strength left in that arm for the former MVP.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's third down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham. You have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
And the next-gen stats, they tell the story. That's a full 67 yards in the air. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead is now 14-10.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Damian Pierce taking the field with the rest of the Texans offense. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. Play fake, Mills.
And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield.
Quiddy Pay getting in there and burying him behind the line.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack.
Mills.
Flushed out right. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Quiddy Pay. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long.
He'll look to throw. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And this will be gathered up in the end zone. And that's a defensive touchdown. That's something you have to be wary of on your side of the field, that close to the goal line. The defense, they are looking for that football. They got it. They scored it.
You are so right, and the quarterback has to speed things up himself. So close to the goal line, they're going to get after you. Make sure you get rid of the football and in a safe place.
Blankenship out for the point after.
It's good, and it's 21-10. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Houston's offense taking over again.
And they'll be looking to start fresh. Just a moment ago, they were backed up, coughed up the football, and then saw it go the other way for 6 points.
I just wonder, partner, sometimes they put such an emphasis on things. And, you know, in that situation, as they ran out there, they were told, take care of the football, don't cough it up. And sometimes that's the last thing you hear, and that's exactly what you do.
1st and 10 now for Mills and the Texans.
At their own 25-yard line.
They'll get things started with a carry by Pierce.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
67 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They go again with Pierce. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8.
Mills. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Texans on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away.
And this returnable for Hines.
Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Tackled by the cornerback, Derek Stingley.
This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
2nd down, another run with Taylor.
Oh, look at the juke. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down.
They go to the ground again with Taylor.
He'll get this up to about the 44.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the draw is Taylor. A beautiful fake. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 123 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Ryan. Out to the right and complete to Pittman. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Burke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
On first down, Ryan. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Coming up on 2nd and 7. Here's Ryan. Quick slant caught by Pierce. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 14. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now it's Ryan. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back in the 24. Jerry Hughes. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
And down he goes again. A bevy of sacks in less than a half. But this defense is still losing the game. They've got to fix something because there should be no excuse for losing with an effort like this on that side of the ball. They need to take advantage when their defense is generating this kind of pressure so early in the game.
Well, that sack backs Ryan and the Colts up a bit here, facing a 3rd and long. They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So Ryan heads to the sideline, and out now is Rodrigo Blankenship for the Indianapolis field goal try. Blankenship's kick is good.
And the lead grows to 14 at 24-10. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. No reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports halftime report. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Colts. And a big part of their success on the scoreboard is their success in the running game. Over 100 yards as a team in those first 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they didn't have quite the same kind of success running the football, but still, not bad for one half of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football.
And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. But the Colts ready to go to work to start the third quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I liked what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
They run once more with Taylor.
Nifty move. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
138 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Looking to throw again on second down. Ryan, he'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. He'll find Paris Campbell. That's complete. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 46. From the gun, it's Taylor. Oh, what a move. Taking it right down Broadway. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts take a 3-touchdown lead. Boy, missed tackles continuing to plague this defense, and they surrender another big play and a touchdown here.
Yeah, by my count, at least 2 guys had shots at it, maybe even more than that. But this defense, they've looked out of sorts all game long. That was definitely not one of their better efforts right there.
Now Blankenship on for the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. First and 10 now for Mills and the Texans at their own 22. A first down throw for Mills. And that's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. From the gun, here's Mills. And he finds Howard complete. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Mills from the gun on 3rd down. his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Colts getting ready to go. They're just looking to do more of the same. They were good in the first half. They've extended their lead so far here in the second half. I don't know, they're just looking good on hitting on all cylinders right now.
And sometimes that means a head coach who really has a finger on the pulse of a team may not have anything to say at all. May tell the rest of the coaches,
up a little bit.
Just back it off a little bit. This team has it under control. I remember hearing about Bob Knight years ago in basketball, getting ready to give the final speech before the gold medal game in '84. And on the board, Michael Jordan had written, "Coach, after all we've been through."
Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor, 75 yards. And the Colts are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that, man. One play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken in at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now out comes Houston. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD. And if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Mills gets the dump off to Pierce. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Steps away to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he's on for the 5th time here today.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A big kick that time, 52 yards.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And for one of the few times here today, this one's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
They give to Taylor out of the gun.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Ryan.
Now this will be swung out wide for Taylor.
And he will be marked down short of the 1st as they get to him at the 29. Will go down as a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. .39 yards on the punt. Give him just 1 yard on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Houston set to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Mills now.
That's complete to his running back, Burkhead. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching.
Mills can't get away, and down he goes.
Yannick Ngakoue picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. They're continuing to rock and roll, and at intermission, maybe sometimes you fear after such a good first half of a letdown, but that wasn't the case.
And what I remember most about being in those situations is exactly what you're talking about. You almost have that sense of satisfaction. You're like, we're doing really well. I remember one time someone saying, winning's fun, but so is playing really well. Why would we want to do otherwise? That was the message, to keep the intensity up, to keep things going, and that's exactly what we're seeing here from this team.
Yeah, it's helped them extend their lead. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Let's go, man.
On second down, it's Taylor. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Ryan. Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Mo Alley-Cox. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide, as they've established already.
Now Ryan on first down. He's got the tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Here's Ryan to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again, to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Ryan. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. To throw is Ryan. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
On is the punter Hawk as he gets this one away. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Mills. Cooks on the quick slant. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Mills to throw it. And he lost the football. And I believe the Colts have recovered. Yes, they have.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
And the Colts coming out now. They have picked up right where they left off in half number 1, just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well, and you kind of relax a little bit. We've got this. We can kind of punch the button whenever we get good and ready. But for a team to keep the intensity and keep the execution up and come back after the half and play so well, that's actually really, really nice to see.
And a pedal to the metal. That's what we're seeing right now. Now a dump off here complete. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Running left, Taylor. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
Back to Taylor on first down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 3rd down, here's Taylor. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. And give him 12 yards and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Ryan. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Jerry Hughes able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play, but sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one, weren't able to do so.
A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. Ryan. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it. But it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
Blankenship's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
After the made field goal, here's Blankenship again. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Texans offense set to regain possession. Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You trail them by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
Mills now looks to throw on 1st down.
And his throw here's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing, Mills. Catch made here by Rex Burkhead, his running back.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been stymied left and right, converted only 1 time. Here it's 3rd and 3. Mills. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent gain.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Mills. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. And they'll throw again. Here's Mills. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to convert on 3rd and short yardage with a gain of 4.
They certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Mills on first down. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Mills. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 32-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Again, it's Mills. And Cooks has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw again on 2nd down, Mills. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Quiddy Pay getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. O.J. Howard, 34 yards. And the Texans get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And the lead is down to 24. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates.
I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now.
They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive.
And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16.
He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill. So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
7 yards there and a first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Again, it's Taylor.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 16 yards the pickup there. The Colts have a first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Taylor.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Able to slither by.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts first down.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Running straight ahead, Taylor.
Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Jonathan Taylor.
42 yards.
And the Colts start to open this lead even wider here in the fourth. And that CD, one heck of a run. He just refused to go down.
And that's where determination comes in, because he had at least a couple of guys had really good shots at him, but he just said, I don't think so. Speed, power, elusiveness, all on display right there. Look like you, partner, back in your salad days in Evansville.
Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That time a 6-play drive.
And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Fields it right around the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
On 1st and 10, Mills. They dial up the screen here to Burkhead. Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
2nd and 6. Here's Mills. And his throw is incomplete. Now defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
He's got a man complete. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And that one results in 35 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Hand off left side, Pierce. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
2nd down and goal. Mills. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
3rd and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. To throw, Mills. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Mills, 4th down, gotta have it. And this is caught. Well, they get one back, picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be taken in by the Colts. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now a handoff. Taylor with it. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. 2nd down, another run with Taylor. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a give to Taylor. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. On the handoff, Taylor. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.